Hey guys, it's Jess. So today I'm going to be doing my August favourites and recommendations. If you haven't seen my July favourites and recommendations, I will leave the link on the screen here and you can go and check that out. I'm going to start with books. I didn't really manage to read much this month. I finished Icons, which is the book I showed you guys last month by Margaret Stoll, and I really enjoyed it. But the book series I'm reading now has definitely one-upped it. This series of books have been on my reading list for years and I just never got around to reading them, and there is going to be a movie next year. So I decided it's about time I get on it. I've also had about 5 different subscribers of mine that have recommended them to me, so I know that it's something I'll like if you guys like them. The book series I'm talking about is the Maze Runner trilogy. I have finished the Maze Runner and I am halfway through the Scorch trials, and then I have the Death Cure to go. These books are phenomenal. If you're a fan of the Hunger Games, then you would definitely enjoy these. There is constant action, violence. Every chapter in this book will just shock you. You think the worst is over and then something even worse happens and you're just left with your jaw on the floor and unable to pick it up off the ground. As I said, I'm only halfway through the Scorch trials, but I am loving it. Like I said, every new chapter something happens where you're left wondering what else could happen to these poor kids. There is an excellent amount of violence and gore, and I cannot wait for the film. One of my all-time favourite actors, Dylan O'Brien, is playing the main character Thomas, and I'm just so thrilled. So I would definitely say if you love the Hunger Games, check out the Maze Runner trilogy, even though I'm only holding 2. For movies this month, I haven't really watched much. I've been actually watching more TV shows than movies. I went to the cinema to see The World's End, which is the 3rd movie in the Cornetto trilogy. They're the movies directed by Edgar Wright, starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. The 2 other movies in the Cornetto trilogy are Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, if you're familiar with them. If you haven't seen them and you love a good British hard-hitting comedy, they are fabulous. I really enjoyed The World's End, but I still love Shaun of the Dead way more. There were some absolutely hysterical parts in The World's End there. I was doubled over. I went with my brother and my mum and they both really enjoyed it as well. The second movie I watched I have here with me. It is called Arena, and I picked this movie up from an ex-rental store, so it was really cheap. They were 3 for $20 and I got a couple other movies, obviously. As you can probably tell from my last favourites, I like to find movies that are along the vibes of the Hunger Games, and I've been like that forever, even before I read the Hunger Games. I love kind of fight to the death sort of themes. This movie stars Kellen Lutz and Samuel L. Jackson, and I didn't know what to expect because I'd never heard of it before, and it was made in 2011. And I thought for something that recent I should have heard of it if it was quite good. And I was really surprised by it. It did not go how I was expecting it. It was just one shock after another and it was amazing. There is a lot of graphic violence in this film, so if you're not allowed to watch that for my younger viewers, maybe steer clear, but it is a good amount of gore and it's the gore I like. There are some brilliantly choreographed fighting scenes, and just because I suck at explaining plots, I'm going to read the back of this for you guys. How do you make a fortune from a bloodlust of millions? One sadistically savvy businessman has created an empire with his brutal fight-to-the-death gladiator website. His newest warrior is David Lord, a kidnapped fireman now imprisoned and forced to fight for his life. To buy his freedom, Lord agrees to do a series of lethal bouts, but as the body count escalates and with his most challenging battle remaining, Lord unleashes a torrent of bloody carnage and reveals a secret that threatens to tear down the entire enterprise. The movie is just really great. If you enjoy fight-to-the-death movies, check it out. The third and final movie I'm talking about, you guys can probably guess it, is the Mortal Instruments City of Bones. The book series is by Cassandra Clare, and I have been waiting for this movie for 5 years. My cinema didn't have a midnight screening, so on the Thursday morning I went to the first viewing and there was literally no one in my theatre except this annoying bitch that wouldn't stop complaining through the entire movie. Now, there has been quite a shitstorm amongst the fans of City of Bones because this movie did not stay very true to the book. They kept the things that needed to be in there, and that is important. However, there were things revealed in this one movie that we had to wait 2 books for, and that's just really annoying as fans. I understand why they did it, and if you've seen the movie and read the books, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I won't tell any spoilers here. Other than that though, I think it was a quite good adaptation, and I really enjoyed it as a standalone movie. There was a lot of good action scenes. The casting was phenomenal. I loved Jemima West as Isabel Lightwood and Robert Sheehan as Simon Lewis, and those two are my favourite characters, so I was really happy about that. The only thing that really grinded my gears in this movie was that there was this disgusting cheesy music every time Clary and Jace had a scene together. Literally every single time they made eye contact, there was this music, and it was so unneeded and unnecessary. Like, we could see their attraction to each other, so there's no need to like enhance it with music, and it just baffled me as to why they chose to do that. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. Also in the movie genre, we got a few new trailers this month. First being the Vampire Academy Blood Sisters teaser trailer. Oh, it was so good. I really liked it. However, they do seem to use a lot of scenes from towards the end of the book, which I found strange. It kind of gives it away to people who haven't read the books as to what is already going to happen, but whatever. It got me really excited for the movie, which will be out next year. Another trailer that was released, and you guys know because I posted my trailer reaction. If you haven't seen it, link will be here. The Divergent trailer was absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. They put in such a good effort, and I love it. 2 days after the trailer, they also released a featurette. All these links will be in the description below as well. And they showed a lot more scenes in that as well, so we've just been given so much, and I'm so happy about it. Music I've been listening to most this month is the album by Daughter, If You Leave, and this is a great album. I won't spend too long talking about this music, you can just check it out for yourself, but I will tell you my favourite songs off this album are Still and You. The other album I have been listening to non-stop is One Republic's Native. Favourite songs off this album are Preacher, If I Lose Myself, and Feel Again. I've also been listening to a lot of Verona, and I do not have their album, there isn't one released yet. I've just been listening to them on YouTube. I will leave their channel in the description below. My favourite songs by them are Dark in My Imagination, The Enemy, and They Will Fall Like Roses. For TV shows, the beginning of August marked the last and final episode ever of Skins. I have been a fan of Skins ever since the first season and the first generation, and I am so sad to see it go, but I feel they ended it beautifully. I feel Cook's episode ended it on the right note, and I'm so sad to see it go, but I'm happy with how they ended it. The next show I watched in August was Orange is the New Black, and this is a Netflix series. I don't actually have Netflix, I just watched it online totally legally. And the show revolves around the character Piper Chapman, who is sent to a woman's prison, and from there we kind of follow the stories of a lot of the inmates. Fair warning for this show, it has a lot of lesbian content, a lot of sex scenes, and a lot of vulgar language, so if you're not keen on that, do not watch it. But I thought it was absolutely fabulous, and they've already started shooting season 2, and I can't wait. My favourite character is Crazy Eyes, and I'll try and put in a clip here for you if I can get one, because she is just hysterical. I would watch an entire show with just her character. Last show I got into this month is a show I did not realise was cancelled until I got to the end of season 1 of it. It is called Go On. It was released last year. It starred Matthew Perry, who is most well known for playing Chandler in Friends, and this show, I don't know why it got cancelled. It's so good, but I finished the last episode of the first season, and then I looked up when the next season was coming out and it said it was cancelled, so I was like, fuck. That always happens to me. The shows I love are always cancelled. My casting news favourites this month have been the announcement of the Fallen movie cast. Fallen is a young adult series by Lauren Kate. There are 4 books in the series, with an additional book which has short stories in it. And I love these books. They are a fallen angel kind of novel, and they were optioned for a movie about last year, and we just got our 2 main cast members announced. Addison Timlin is to play Luce, and Jeremy Irvine is to play Daniel. I love the actors that they have chosen. They seem to fit the role quite well. A lot of people don't like Addison as Luce, but I think she'll do a great job. And Jeremy Irvine is very much how I pictured Daniel in the books. The other casting announcements that are my favourites are obviously the Mockingjay announcements we've been getting. That includes Steph Dawson being cast as Annie Cresta, Natalie Dormer being cast as Cressida, and Evan Ross being cast as Masala. I'm in love with all of these casting choices. The casting they do for the Hunger Games films are just always so fantastic. So I can't wait to see who else is going to be joining the Mockingjay cast. Last but not least, my merch favourites for this month are City of Bones stuff. My first merch favourite is the City of Bones official illustrated guide. Is that right? Nope, movie companion. It's massive. It has a crap load of images and stuff. There's Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Cassie. It has a lot of intel into how the movie was made, and I love reading stuff like that. I have the Hunger Games version of this as well. The next is the Little Book of Quotes, and this is so cute. There's all little quotes in it from most characters. Let's find one from Simon. I really didn't need this, but I loved it. And it was a great marketing idea, so I fell for it. And also the cover has runes carved into it, which is just so cool. For those of you living in Australia, I found those first two in Big W, and they were around the $10 mark each. Then I went into Target and they had something different. They had the Mortal Instruments City of Bones postcards, and let's be real, these aren't going to be sent out to anyone. These are going up in my room. That's my favourite one, obviously. It's got my main babies in it. This one's from Target. I think I already said that, and it was around $10 as well. Last merch favourites are not to be bought because I made them. Now, there was not a lot of hype at all in Australia for this movie. I don't know what the fuck was happening, but there just wasn't. It was nowhere near what they did for the Hunger Games, so I don't know what went on, but the only jewellery I could get to wear to, like, my viewing, because I like to do that. The only jewellery I could get was online, and it wasn't going to make it here in time for me to see the movie with it on. So I decided to just make it myself. The first thing I made is this long necklace with the angelic rune on it. Excuse my ruddy nails. The second one is what I'm wearing. I did my own interpretation of what I thought the witch light would look like, and it looks nothing like this in the film, so it's kind of awkward now, but it looks more how it was described in the book because it's a small flat grey stone. In the movie it was a fucking crystal, but whatever. But yeah, I've been wearing those necklaces non-stop because I'm just like in a Mortal Instruments mood. Anyway, this video is probably long as fuck right now, so I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are having a great day. Make sure you let me know your favourites of the month down below and leave any recommendations you guys have for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy Hunger Games! Oh my god, it's fucking hot in here. Oh, tit on a biscuit by Margaret. However, there were things revealed in this the book I showed you guys last month. Oh fuck, it's so hot in here. Well, again, if I lose my what's me doing this face today? If I lose myself. Well, I don't lose myself because I fucking hate myself right now. Songs of this album are, no, my imagination, I can't say that word. My favourite songs by, my first merchandise, what's wrong?